Right, here's my fridge. Got it back from the repair place. Let's see if it's going to work, and if so, how many attempts. That's doing the same as before. Oh dear. So, and it's like another €150 for nothing. Okay, I'm not going to bore you with more videos of me clicking a button on my fridge. I did actually record several other attempts, but that's really boring. Now, I had a theory that perhaps the problem with it was something to do with driving. I thought maybe, you know, once I drive, something is being kind of jostled about and it just needs time to settle. And so what I did was, while I was at the campsite, I was hooked up on electricity. So I put the fridge on electric, left it for like half an hour, then I turned it off and then tried again with the gas. And I wrote down like how many times it took to get it on. And then I kept repeating this, and I did it about 6 times over the course of the evening. And there were, I've written it down somewhere, but basically one of the times it came on first time, another time I couldn't get it on in 50 tries, and then I gave up. And there was one time when it was 16, and other times it was in the 30s. Basically it's completely intermittent, and I've got to a point now where I think the fridge is just old, and I just don't think it's going to get any better than it has. So it's been serviced and the wiring has been replaced. It works perfectly on electric, and when it does light on the gas it works fine. So the problem I have is that if I'm going somewhere where I'm going to leave the vehicle for a certain amount of time, that's when I want to try and get the fridge on. Now if I park up somewhere and I'm staying with the vans, if I've just gone to, like this afternoon, I'm planning to drive up over somewhere where there's going to be a lake, and I'm going to stay there until tomorrow. That's the plan. And so I would try and get the fridge on. If it didn't come on straight away, I could just keep trying. I could just like go back to it every 10 or 15 minutes, try again. Yeah, it's annoying, but eventually I'll get the thing on. But the problem comes when I want to go somewhere and leave it. So for example, when I went to Rocamadour, I was parked in full sunshine, very hot, wanted the fridge on, but I was going to explore the town. So I want to sit on the van for 2 hours waiting. And same when I went to Artois, I was just going for a hike. And in actual fact, it was when I was in Artois was one of the days where I had to just abandon it. You know, I tried it for about half an hour, it was getting hot, and I thought, I've got to go. If I'm going to do this walk, I need to get on with it because it was getting late. And so I had to just leave it. So I have a workaround. Ice blocks. I've got 2 400 grams and 2 200 grams. Now you see, I've got a little freezer, and I will not use the freezer for food because I don't trust it. But, you know, because if it defrosts and then refreezes, that's bad. But for ice blocks, it's perfectly fine. So I've got these 4, and I can put 1 in each shelf. So what I'll do is, if I go off grid, the fridge isn't on, I'll whip these out, put them in the fridge on the various shelves. I'm going to have 1 in the door, and then I'll just try it. If I can't get it to work and I have to leave it, sod it. I will just go, leave these babies in place, and that should help keep it cool for quite a while. Because it doesn't like instantly lose all of the cold air in there the minute the power is off. It will stay cool for quite a few hours, and with these as well, that will help it stay cool. And then presumably once I come back in the evening, I can keep trying, and hopefully eventually I'll get it on so I can have it on overnight. So that is my workaround for the fridge. So a while back I posted a video about a problem with my water where it was coming out brown. Now I have this jug here, but since then I haven't wanted to basically use any water that comes out of my taps, and the problems seem to be related to the water pump. When the pump has been on a while, that's when it comes out brown. This is actually no, that's not from the taps. I haven't used tap water in ages, but this is my workaround. Quite simple, 5 litre jerry can. So I just fill up my water directly into the can from the water source. This does not come out of the taps. So I use my pump for pumping to the taps only for washing. If I'm going to do any cooking, if I'm going to drink, I will only get it directly from the water source, and then I'm still going to filter it through. And so that's been my workaround for the past few weeks, and it's fine. You know, I haven't like been sick or had any tummy upsets or anything like that, so that is what I'm doing. So I'm now only using my taps for washing. So that's that workaround. So if you've followed my channel for any length of time, you'll know that I had a huge amount of problems getting a French gas bottle, which is this, connected to my English system because of this hose connection. This is a propane regulator from the UK, which has the same kind of hose connection up here, but fits onto the clip-on thing here. Now what happened was I ran out of gas when I was in Rocamadour. I wasn't on electric, and I had to find more gas quickly. All I had at the time was my English colour gas bottle, and to be honest, and in order to have fitted it, I'd have had to take this hose off and put that one on, and there's just no way I was touching it. After the hassle I had, you can go back and watch those previous videos, and basically I am never touching this hose again. This simply clips, simply unclips and clips back on. So I have a second one. I've bought a second bottle, the same type, which gives me plenty of room in here. So you'll also see this jerry can. So as I mentioned earlier, I've got that problem with the water. This just makes it easier to go and carry water. I think this is 10 litres, might be 15, I can't remember. Yeah, 10. So I've got a bit of extra space in this locker now, and so now when I run out, you know, when this bottle runs out, it'll take, you know, less than 2 minutes to just unclip that, swap them over, clip the other one in, and then I know I've got time to then go and do another exchange and find someone that stocks this particular bottle. I've noticed that the bottles in France are either this tiny one or huge ones, which I don't know will fit in, and even if they did fit, I think they'd be too heavy for me to lug around on my own. So yeah, so that is my gas now sorted. Now when I go to another country, I will get one of these returned, and then I think I'm going to have to take one with me and see if I can exchange it in Spain. If not, I'll probably have to just lose the bottle and buy Spanish bottles. But that's not something I've got to worry about for a while. This is a new problem. These are the two taps, and yeah, just totally broken, snapped. This one still works. No, nothing's going to come out because I don't have the pump on. Actually, just put the pump on, I'll show you how it works. Right, so yeah, it's just there. But this one, nothing. So all that's happened really is I've lost the hot water. But to be fair, I hardly ever used hot water anyway, because in order to have hot water I have to put the water heater on, which uses my battery, and most of the time when I have a shower it's going to be at the end of the day, like after a walk. If I've been on a walk and I've got all hot and sweaty, that's when I'm going to have a shower, and to be honest I prefer a cold one anyway, because then it's too hot to use the hot water. So this is one of those things that is just going to stay broken.